Alright, isang magandang araw sa inyong lahat. Andito na naman si Rob Tripp. Andito ang ating flash report. Ayan, PBBM, nagulat ang lahat sa mensahe ng ating Pangulong Marcos. Ayan, interes para sa lahat ang pakanan ni Pangulong Marcos at panoorin po natin ang kanyang nakakagulat na mensahe. Ayan,
How many years is it since your father left office?
34, 1986. We left the Philippines in 1986. So,
Did you expect to come back as the president of your country? I know you worked extremely hard today. I think I have seen you already 3 or 4 times, and I know we have had so many sessions.
well, I could say the same for you, Mr. President. We've been together most of the day,
Yeah.
and I'm very happy that we had this opportunity to have at least a chat about some of the issues of the day.
And congratulations on your elections. How many months have you been in office now?
I took office. Inauguration was the 1st of July.
Yeah.
So more or less 6 months. 7 months now.
How has it been? As expected, or better, or worse?
Well, pretty much as expected. I have the advantage of having spent years watching my father being president. So I had a very good idea of what it entailed. Now, of course, it's different from a son watching his dad doing his job as you yourself doing that job. So it's like I'm in the same setting, but playing a different role. But at least I know I know what needs to be done, and I have a fair idea how it used to be done anyway, and so I have models that I can follow, templates that I can follow.
But in your father's time, there was no social media.
No social media. Yes, that's actually in politics. I think all around the world, not only in the Philippines, that suddenly social media has become such an enormous force, not only in politics but in all other walks of life. So, yes, that is the new feature.
I think maybe we could say that the world is more complex and confrontational now than back when your father was president, and more complex in the region?
Yes, because it was simpler then. For example, when you talk about foreign policy for a country like the Philippines, you choose. You were with the Americans or you were with the Soviet Union. That was still the Cold War. We were still in the midst of the Cold War. And so, yes, it was simpler then. But it's that kind of arrangement, or that kind of the spheres of influence, as we used to call them, I don't think applies anymore. However, we spoke about this in another session, and the forces that are sort of tending to push us back into this bipolar, I mean not in a psychiatric sense, but bipolar world are quite strong. But I think most leaders and most strategists have a consensus that we should not fall back into that kind of situation where all countries have to choose which side they will be on. So when asked which side are you on, I said, well, I don't work for Beijing. I don't work for Washington D.C. I work for the Philippines. So I'm on the side of the Philippines, and that really translates into a very simple statement of foreign policy, which is I promote the national interest.
And the national interest, also has led to the fact, I think you've been already in Beijing and
Yes.
visited President Xi Jinping. Did your father go to Beijing?
My father went to my family has quite a history with the People's Republic, because in 1974 I was 16 years old. My mother took me with her on the first visit of Filipino delegation to China. And that was the precursor to the establishment of diplomatic relations. And so after that, we met with Zhou Enlai. We met with the chairman Mao Zedong. Deng Xiaoping was number 3 then. So that's how it all began. The next year, my father brought a formal delegation, because we were unofficial with my mother. He brought a formal delegation where they set the framework for the establishment of diplomatic relations between the PRC and the Philippines.
I guess a very different China you visited now than you visited in the 1970s.
Completely, and it's just absolutely remarkable what we saw in China in 1974, and what we saw, because after that there were many visits subsequent to the signing, especially of the diplomatic relations, but the rapid growth and modernization of China is just remarkable. I think everyone here is perfectly familiar with how that happened. But still, when you think of the time that it took them, for example, a place like Xiamen. When we first went to Xiamen, it was a little village. Even Guangzhou. Guangzhou was like it was a small city, and now it's you could be in any of the great Western capitals in terms of sophistication, in terms of development, in terms of wealth. It has been absolutely remarkable to watch.
Is China now your most important trading partner?
Yes, they are our largest right now. They are our largest trading partner.
And the U.S. number 2, or?
The U.S. I think is number 3 now, if I'm not mistaken. Because especially since the pandemic, the alliances between our neighbors has become very strong. For example, the biggest contributor for foreign direct investment now is Singapore.
Thank you for watching.
Alright,
Don't forget to
sa inyong lahat
subscribe.
dyan. Alright, thank you sa inyong lahat. At natunghayan nyo guys, same setting, different role ang kanilang pagiging naupong presidente, ang ating dating presidente Ferdinand Marcos Sr. Ayan. At maraming salamat sa inyong patnubay na panonood dito kay Rob Trip. Ayan, new picture and complexibility of Marcos at sa kanilang national interest sa lahat ng ating Pilipino. Ayan, maraming salamat sa inyong lahat at don't forget to subscribe this Rob Trip, and thank you so much sa inyong lahat. Ayan, thank you so much.